Deputy Speaker, I rise to speak on the Therapeutic Goods and Other Legislation Amendment, which is vaping reform. I reflect on the remarks of the member who spoke immediately before me about this, and I would like to draw sort of distinction between, I think, where cigarettes have been and where vaping is now. I think cigarettes have built into the culture of Australia over many, many decades, and we are doing our very best through regulation to reduce that dependence on cigarettes. Vaping is a new form of nicotine dependence that has emerged very quickly, very strongly, and very much amongst our young people. And so my nervousness of what the member has suggested in terms of pursuing, purely a regulatory model in relation to this is that, this misses the opportunity to actually stamp out vaping more broadly and stamp out that dependence, except in the case of nicotine cessation and smoking cessation. If we look back in time, 100 years ago, if we had the opportunity to stop smoking before it started, would we have jumped in? And should we have jumped in? And I think the answer is actually yes in that situation. I think it is going to be very hard for us, frankly, given to the extent to which vaping has taken hold, to take it away from our society. But at the same time, I think we should still try, because this is a relatively new area. It is an area that is still emerging, and where habits haven't been formed over a lifetime in the same way that cigarette smoking have been formed. To come back to the reason why I support this bill, the availability of vapes is of enormous concern to my community, and particularly I think the approach has been low regulation. Oh, we don't, you can't sell nicotine vapes in our stores. You have to get a prescription for that. But frankly, when it comes to it, and these nicotine vapes are absolutely everywhere. In my electorate in Wentworth, I was appalled to find, and as was the principal of my old school, to find a tobacco shop that had just opened 2 doors down from the entrance of my old school with that tobacco. And, with it out there, tobacco vapes in the front. In that particular situation, I know that store was approached by the health department. They looked at it, they found that they were selling nicotine vapes, but my community is very concerned that that shop and other shops like it couldn't be closed down, and very little action could be taken in relation to that. So I do think that my community is looking for much stronger action on vapes, because it is being directed to our children and it is unacceptable. We see the nicotine vapes in bright colours, in flavours like bubblegum and banana milkshake, stacked along shelves alongside lollies and chocolates, and that's exactly what I saw in my community. Parents were outraged. And frankly, this is not a story that's unique to Wentworth. Across New South Wales, 1/3 of 14 to 17-year-olds have used vaping products, and more than half of that product groups used a product they know contained nicotine, which frankly, under the current regulations, which aren't working, they should only have been able to get through their GP, but that is not how it is currently working. The current regulations are not fit for purpose, and so I applaud the government on trying to take action. Among other things, this bill implements a general definition of vaping products, accounting for the rapidly evolving market determined to avoid regulation. It places penalties on the importation and manufacture of vapes, as well as significantly restricting the advertisement and spread of health misinformation regarding these products. I think these changes will help put an end to the tobacco industry's insidious marketing of vaping products to children, which is putting our health and well-being of our young people at risk. But I acknowledge this is going to be hard to implement, and I think the devil is absolutely going to be in whether we can actually implement this effectively. So this is an area that I'll be following the government actions very closely, because I think we would like to remove the prevalence of vaping across our community and really reduce that. But how we do that is not going to be simple. This legislation is a start, but it is going to be all in the implementation in terms of whether it has the impact that we across the community want to have. But the legislation is at least a first step. Thank you.